loves, welcome back to another video. I hope you're having the best day or night whenever you're watching this. I have a red spot on my forehead because I rubbed my face against Luna's fur this morning and my skin didn't like it. So now it's been bright red right there all day. So just ignore that. I'm with Bean. Bean is with me because when I was in Scotland, I talk about Scotland pretty much every week on this channel, but when I was in Scotland, I had an 8-hour layover at Heathrow, and I remember Cadbury chocolates from when we had traveled to the UK when we were both younger, and at the time I was an uncultured American and I was like, I'm not gonna eat Cadbury, like it's surely not as good as Hershey Kisses or whatever. Then when I was, okay, so fast forward to me being I'm here for one thing and one thing only. I know, but I had to prep, I had to explain it.
Preamble to the Constitution.
Anyway, when I was in a layover in London as a sensible, mature 23-year-old who was no longer an uncultured American, I had a sample of Cadbury and I was like, oh, that's really good. It was really good. So then Bean and I wanted to order chocolates from the UK because we realized that the chocolates there are just so much better. But then we realized that Cadbury's in the US now. So we're gonna try it because it was at our grocery store and see if it's any good, because we did find a site to order UK chocolates from. Like, I know there's like those Freddy Frogs, and then what else did we find?
You were looking at the like pigs.
Oh, I really want to try. There's like a gummy sort of like pig. I was gonna say Peppa Pig, but that's not right. Like Percy Pig or something. I don't know. It's like a little gummy pink bear.
God, I just want chocolate. Please.
Oh, do you want it?
Yeah. Music to my ears.
Like, I feel like it shouldn't be as good because it was made here, but it's from the UK, right? So, you want a whole...
Yeah.
Okay.
What does she mean? Yeah. It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good.
Mm. Oh my god, it's like melting in my mouth. Wow.
It's a nice texture.
We're doing like, what is it? Mukbang?
Mm-hmm. I don't think that's like how you say it.
No, it is.
I don't think so.
What would you call it?
I used to think it was that too, but then I've been seeing people calling it like mukbang.
Oh, mukbang? Maybe it is that. Made in the UK, right? No, it says the Hershey Company, but under license from Cadbury UK. All I know is it's a lot better than the Hershey Kisses I've been having all week.
Me too. Well, I haven't been having Hershey Kisses all week, so I just lied.
But it is made by Hershey, under license. I wonder what that means. I actually think I'll look into this further, kind of deep dive, because it is a lot better than the Hershey Kisses. But I feel like the one I had in the airport was maybe even possibly slightly better, but that could just totally be my imagination. You look crazy. You know that.
You're one busy.
No, holy moly. That's good. Her little paws. Support her back.
I have been.
The UK just does it better. It is Saturday morning and we are going on a hike right now, but I had no idea where we were going and I am so excited because we are at my favorite hike and I didn't know, and I'm so happy. We haven't done it in so long, but we did it a few times during COVID, and then when I came back and on the few days that we would hike when I visited, we never came back to this one. We always wanted to try new ones, and my dad picked the hike this morning and surprised me, and I'm so grateful and so excited. Barnes is excited too. dog is barking, so you'll have to forgive me if you hear that. But it is the moment we have all been waiting for. Or maybe me. Maybe that's just me, myself, and I. Although everyone's been really curious. So anyway, without further ado, where I'm moving. Drum roll. I am going to New York City. I can't believe it. I'm so excited. I'm a little bit nervous, a little bit stressed, a little bit overwhelmed, but mostly giddy and excited. I mean, so many of you guessed it. I didn't make it that hard because I said things like I couldn't bring my bookshelves or my car, or that it'd be a smaller space, whatever. I'm so happy I can finally talk about it. I can't tell you how many times in the last couple of vlogs I've said, oh, when I get to New York, or oh, I have to do this for New York. And then I'll stop and I have to cut it, and then I have to redo it and say like, oh, when I move, which is so annoying, but I just wanted it to be a moment. I wanted to tell you all in this way, sitting down, we can chat about it, and I can explain everything. But I'm truly so grateful, and I feel so lucky to be able to do this, and it kind of feels surreal right now, to be honest. Now that I'm really sitting and thinking about it, it feels wild. So I've checked LA off, going to New York. I have my sights set somewhere else. So it'll only be New York for a couple of years. I don't see myself staying in New York long term, although never say never. Anything could happen in the next couple of years that could change everything. But for now, the plan is New York for a few years and then somewhere new. And I almost didn't go to New York. I, as you all know, as I explained, I sat down, I really took my time to consider where I wanted to go next. I didn't want to rush into anything, especially because I am such a family person and I love being home with my family. And it's funny because I have been in Pittsburgh now for, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 months longer than I expected. And I only feel like slightly sure that I'm ready to move. Like the other part, that doesn't really make sense. I am ready to move, but a big part of me is just absolutely dreading leaving my family because I don't know, it's just such a gift to be able to be with your family. But I know I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't know I needed to. Like, I know I need, not the Duolingo notification. I know I need to move and experience something new. And I feel that in my soul, so I'm ready to do it, but I'll really miss my family. But the good thing is when I was in LA, I didn't see my family that often because it's literally one whole day of flying. Like it's like a 5-hour flight, but if you have a layover, it's a whole entire day of flying. So I would come home for the holidays. They only visited me every once in a great while because my dad has work, my sister's in school, you know, so it did make sense. It just sucked because I couldn't see them that often, but now I'm only 1 hour flight away. I'm a 6-hour drive if necessary. Like, they're right there, so it's incredible. I get to move to a city I've always wanted to live in, but it is much closer to home. I still get to be on the East Coast and experience seasons and be with the people that the kind of people that I grew up around and love, so it'll be quite the adventure. I cannot wait. It's really funny though because there were a few other cities that I considered for a millisecond. Like, I didn't truly consider because they didn't really make sense for me with the work that I do, content creation and writing. Like, if I'm not going to be in LA, then New York makes the most sense. But just because I was like, well, I really could go anywhere. Like, I don't truly need to go to New York. It's not like I'm going there for a job or something. So I took the time and I was like, what if I moved to Washington, D.C., which a few of you guessed. And then I also considered Boston. That was for like an evening. I considered Boston. I think if I didn't feel the need to experience New York, I would have maybe gone there, to be honest. Just because I want to try as many places as I can. But there's just something in New York has been calling to me since I was little, so I've got to go. For a couple of months, weeks maybe, I was like, maybe I'll just skip New York and go to where I like really want to go. And I knew that 10 years from now, looking back when I am in the place I really want to be, I knew I would regret it if I just skipped New York and was hasty about it. I found an apartment I absolutely adore. I'm obsessed with my apartment. It's perfect. I can't wait to show you. I can't wait to show you how I'm gonna decorate it. I am using a lot of stuff from my apartment in LA, but not everything because it's a completely different layout and not everything will fit. So I do have to change it up a bit. And I can't wait for this new chapter, this new series in New York. That's why I'm really excited that I'm vlogging again, because I can take you along this whole New York experience. And you know, I want you to let me know, comment down below what you want to see. Like in my head, I have all these visions for, obviously I plan to take you through the whole moving process, so packing up, unpacking, decorating my new space, settling into the new space. But I envision cozy vlogs at home, games, baking, reading, writing, just chilling at home when, despite my love of seasons, it gets a little too cold and I don't want to go outside and I'm staying in. And then of course, experiencing New York, like trying new places, meeting new people, meeting new friends, exploring all the corners of New York, because New York has so much to offer. And I had 4 years to experience LA. And even though it's really spread out, it feels smaller because everything in New York is stacked on top of each other. So it's just a lot more that I need to see and get to know, and I want to know all the neighborhoods and the places to go. And I am so lucky and excited and grateful to be experiencing this new city, and I can't wait to take you along. So yes, tell me what you want to see. Tell me exactly what parts of my life in New York you want to see, you want to be a part of. I want to hear from you all so that we're going on this adventure together. 20-something-year-olds in New York, trying it out and seeing how it goes, seeing what awaits me there. Thankfully, my dad is flying in with me for the first few days to help me unpack, settle in, and then he's off. And then it's the cats and me just settling in and seeing what happens. I'm really grateful that he's coming for a few days just to help me really feel like I can, you know, I move in as much as I can, because I really hate the idea of having this move-in process be dragged out over months. I'm only giving myself a month to really settle in, make any changes, see if I want to add anything, and then after that, I'm done. I'm not allowing myself to drag out the moving process for months, because then you just feel unsettled and you don't really feel like you're in there. So I do want to put up wallpaper, I do want to add different things here and there that are a little bit more involved, but I only have a month to do them, so if they're not done, then they're not getting done. And now I've told you, so now I'll be held accountable. Since I was really young, I've always wanted to live in New York. We first started traveling there when I was maybe 5 or 6 for nationals in the summer, and we would go maybe once a year, and then once the show was happening and we were doing press and other things, we would go a few times a year. And then prior to this year, I didn't go to New York for like 2 or 3 years, which was really weird and unusual, but that's okay because now I'm moving there. Anyway, all that to say, I've always loved New York. Every time I visited, it's just felt so perfect, and I knew I would absolutely tear myself apart with regret if I didn't go and at least give it a go for a couple of years. So we'll see. Maybe I'll be there for shorter than I expect. Maybe I'll be there longer than I expect. Maybe I'll settle in so much that I absolutely cannot leave because it's just my home base now. Anything could happen. But growing up, like Gossip Girl was really big, Sex and the City was really big, all those shows were really big, so New York was always on my mind. And then because it's only a 6-hour drive, it's like the closest big city to Pittsburgh. Obviously Pittsburgh is a city, but not like New York. So I was always like right there, like close enough that it was close to home and it didn't feel too scary, but big. Like, it's always been my dream to go there. It was a goal. I remember something happened when I was 17 that really solidified it for me. I think at that point I knew I was going to college in LA, so LA was a given. I was in New York and I just knew that eventually I had to make it back, because what had happened is I was there for a fashion week, and because I was there for a minute, I had like a few nights free and I wanted to try an acting class out. It was like kind of far from my hotel, so I got an Uber. It was raining that night. It was probably like, the class was probably at 6. But traffic was taking so long, as it does, that I was like already 15-20 minutes late. Then we get to where it is, like where it's supposed to be, and we could not find it. The Uber driver like helped me look for a while. I could not find the building anywhere. And then I got out and looked for another 15 minutes, could not find it. And it was raining. Did I say it was raining? It was raining, it was pouring. It was super dark because it was already getting dark really early. So it was just quite the experience. Anyway, fast forward to 45 minutes later, I was already so late. I knew that the class was, I don't know, if I had to guess, maybe it was only 2 hours. So I was like, I'm not gonna go at this point. Like, I'm just gonna take the L and call it a night. And because I was far from my hotel, but not too far. I didn't have anything else to do that night. It had stopped raining at that point, and New York at night is magical, and I knew that. So I thought, well, I missed this acting class, but I'll walk back to my hotel. It'll take me a while, but I'll really appreciate the city. So I start walking back to the hotel, and this crazy feeling came over me. Like, I was walking along enjoying it, because, you know, nighttime is not really nighttime. All the lights are on, everyone's out and about, like, it still feels very lively in the evening. But I'm walking, and I just had this feeling rush over me, and it was just a feeling of being home. I don't know, I felt so, like, connected to New York. And even though I'd always wanted to move there, it was such an intense feeling that I'd never experienced. I was like, I need to come to New York. There's something for me here that I have to come and experience, so I'll be back. And I always knew that when I was in LA. I always pictured New York being a part of my life in some way. I didn't know if I was going to be bi-coastal or if I would move. I didn't know what would happen. And then I reached a point where I was like, no, I have to get out of LA. I have to give myself the opportunity to experience new cities, because that's what I've always wanted. I've wanted to just try as much as possible. So then I left LA, sat on my decision, made sure I really wanted to go to New York, and now I'm going. A couple of months later than I expected, but everything happens for a reason. So, and I'm just so grateful. I feel so lucky. I can't wait to move and to see what awaits me there. And it's just a whole new chapter that we're all going on together. We get to experience this together, and I can't wait to take you along and show you everything, and it'll be so fun. Like, this will be so cool, and I can't wait to share it with all of you. And I really would not be able to do something like just move to New York on a whim, because I feel called to, without this doing what I do, and without all of your support and your constant encouragement and your love. And I really am so grateful for all of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So a couple of weeks ago, I flew to New York for the day to apartment hunt. And I did film it all, and I can't decide if that's going to be my video next week or if I'm just going to film the moving process. So I haven't decided on that. But anyway, I'll be filming the whole moving process no matter what, if I post the apartment hunting or not. So I'll see you then. I've got to go start to pack and figure this all out. But I'm so happy I can finally tell you, my goodness, we're going to New York. That's crazy. Oh, I can't believe it. I'm giddy. I am giddy. So anyway, I love you all so much. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you next week. Bye.